All right. Some students have a really hard time remembering how to multiply binomials. Some students remember the distributive property, and that gets them done fine. Some students remember FOIL, and they got it. Some students are more artistic, and they're like, you know what? That just doesn't make sense. I need something that's going to kind of give me a visual representation. So if you remember, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take the distributive property and FOIL and kind of combine it to kind of make one of my favorite friends. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to create a face for my buddy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a nice little face. Okay? Now, one of the first things you do, all right, is before you can even see, you try to breathe, right? So you breathe, so you're going to need a nice little nose. Okay? Then, usually, you kind of get a little hair coming in, right? So you have the outside, you have a nose, then we just kind of make your head with a cross eye. So with little crosshairs kind of going across. And then what you guys have noticed is now we have some eyes, we have some ears, we have a nose, a mouth. We just need to create, little mouth, little nose holes.
Why are his teeth missing?
I don't know. My buddy doesn't really have good hygiene.
Do any of you guys are game?
No, not really. So then I just created a little hat. And then what I've created is our lovely, nice little foil face. Now, we're not going to get all cutesy and artsy on having to make all these, but I want you guys to understand where you can see where the face comes through. So if you get stuck and you don't remember, you're like, oh my God, I can't remember what FOIL means. I don't remember distributive property. If you can remember to try to construct your little FOIL face, all right, then what you see, remember nose, face, crosses up top, then that tells you what to multiply. These two terms are your first terms, 7x times 2x. These two terms are your last terms, negative 5y times negative y. Here, those are my inner terms. Negative 5x or 5y times 2x. And here are my outer terms. 7x times a negative y. Okay? So then, ladies and gentlemen, all I do is I just figure out my answers. What's 7x times 2x? Well, 7 times 2 is 14. X times x is x squared. What's a negative 5y times negative y? Negatives cancel out to make a positive. So, well, remember you're multiplying, right? So just negative 5y times, remember that's a 1. So it'd be like negative 5 times 1, or negative 1, which would be a positive 5, right? Y times y is y squared. Then I have negative 5y times 2x. So negative 5 times 2, you multiply the numbers, is negative 10. Y times x is y times x, right? We don't know the answer to that. And then this one is 7x. 7x times negative y, which is just going to become a negative 7xy. Now, one thing I want you guys to understand, that a times b is equal to b times a, right? 3 times 4 is the same thing as 4 times 3, correct? So rather than writing x times y, could I write that as y times x?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to write that because it'll make it easier for me to see that, hey, these are the same terms. I can combine these. So when I write out my answer, 14x squared minus 10yx minus 7yx plus 5y squared, I can combine those terms to a negative 17yx. And there's going to be my final answer. I don't have this. Got it?
Do you want to get it?
Don't get it? It's not done. Okay.